for people, they need to hear something at least on the concert they know. So that's how we did all these arrangements. We take a theme from Dark Eyes, which is like 8 bars, for example, and we do a 4-minute piece for it. So it's actually our music.
We're here to make a live record. We've been working with Vladimir before in the studio. We've made 2 studio albums. This is kind of an opportunity to capture the guys at their best in a live situation, and they kind of really respond from an audience perspective, and their music really translates that way. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of energy when they're in front of a live audience. So my job is to put together the best part, I guess, of those 3 nights and make it into a nice, congenially working, flowing album, you know.
First time I started playing violin, it was maybe I was 4 or 5 years old. So from then on, basically, the music was on a daily basis and we had to practice every day. I remember the times when I actually made the alarm clock for 10 minutes, and even if I was in the middle of the note, the ring went, back it and run out, you know?
I listened to classical music, mostly. Then when I was around 10, maybe, I started to listen to my own CDs, and I was listening always to violin. That was my thing, just the fast violin pieces. Everything that was slow was boring at that time.
It is an interesting world to dip into with these lads, because a lot of the Russian music that they would play, they play it in a very inherent way. But I think that the kind of cultural difference is really quite funny sometimes. It comes out in how they play the music, but it comes out in them as individuals, you know. I spend as much time laughing at them as I do being amazed, you know.
I used to be very angry after the concerts, almost every time. I was never happy with myself, and I always wanted away. I didn't want to bow even on the stage. And I didn't want to talk to anybody afterwards.
It didn't change.
It's
the same still.
No, it's much better.
I wasn't as interested in, you know, going too heavy in the classical music and so on, and I said, like, I want to do something different. And my cousin was in Ireland about a year before me, and she went for a round trip around, and she showed me some great pictures from County Kerry, and I thought there is a great nature. I was a big fan of fishing, so I thought I will have some adventure. Dublin, it looked a little bit different to the rivers of the west, so it was like that, but then I just took it from there. I didn't want to be moving from place to place, and I tried to make it work.
When Vladimir left to Ireland, the problem was not the fact that he was leaving. The problem was he didn't want to take his violin. And I remember I was quite angry with him, because I thought after, I don't know, 15 years he played violin. And he played like every day. Now he's throwing all his career. I thought, like, that's pity. So I said to him, just take your violin, you will see. You can have a break, but maybe you will need it. And I was right, of course, as always.
Well, he was not the only one telling me that. After 2 weeks being in the city center of Dublin, I ran out of money, and I started busking on Grafton Street. I took my violin, I started playing. But then it felt like it needs maybe more musicians. So maybe 6 months later, I had a first band that we played on the street, and we were really successful. Like, we had two really huge crowds around, and we were making quite a good money as well. But there was a tradition coming to street, you know, getting your breakfast roll and, you know, getting ready. And then like, okay, 11 o'clock, let's start, let's do our first round. And there are good memories too.
Apart from those few bars where they were out of tune.
Much better mood though.
There was one note, I don't know if it was me or Vladimir.
What I enjoy about playing with Anton is that we can really give out to each other.
Yeah, we can be very honest with each other. I'm very hard on myself when I practice or when I play a concert, and it's great that I can be the same with him. When he makes a mistake, I can say a bad word. And if you play with other people, this wouldn't be the case.
There's definitely an interesting relationship between two musicians that are so close and they play the same instrument that you don't get if people haven't grown up together like that. They don't. Very rarely in the classical sphere will you have one violinist turn to another and go, well, that was a pile of balls, let's do it again, you know? And that's the refreshing thing about working with the Yablukovs, is that they kind of do that, and it has a kind of unique, infectious nature about it, you know? Quite competitive, you know, and there's a sibling kind of rivalry that goes on, you know, and it's good-hearted. Now, I would love to have been a fly on the wall when they were teenagers to see how that really played out, you know, because it's good-hearted now and they've become very comfortable in themselves as adults, but they still fight, and they fight for real, you know, and it's an interesting thing to watch, but it disperses immediately in an adult way and everyone laughs.
You did.
Do you want to come back to this one?
No, no, I'll do it now because it's just he's jealous for my great
Where is
story.
he, Red? Go. Yeah. No, slow down, it was a late tempo, you were late.
No, I was always in time.
No, you were not. We'll not say who was late, but let's just say there was two different tempos, and that's never, that's never good.
The real joy comes when you come to concerts and you see, actually this works, this is great, like we enjoy it, we play music we like, we play it the way we want to play it, and audience likes it.